We mentioned this on our BWI Live recruiting show. Penn State football is in an active period now where things can pop off at any point, and look at that, they did. Penn State picks up another offensive lineman in the class of 2027, and Ryan Snyder is back with us to talk about the latest addition to this class. Ryan, we've been doing a bunch of these committed videos in May, and appreciate your time here today. Who are we talking about?
We're talking about David Tarawallie, 6'6", 200. Right now we have a 265. We're going to talk about his weight here a good bit, but 6'6", 265. Three-star prospect out of Painesville, Ohio, Riverside High School. As you see there on the graphic, 792 nationally, 57. Well, that offensive tackle, number 29 at Ohio. Of course, ESPN has not ranked him yet, so that will change quite a bit here. I think the main thing to know is 24/7 has him as a 89, high 3-star. Rivals right now has him a mid 3-star at 87. Still plenty of evaluation to be done. And I think that's kind of a big part of this whole recruitment story, honestly. So one thing I was able to clarify is he's been playing football since middle school. And maybe it's just me, T. Frank, because I've been looking around. I don't see a lot of film. I see some junior season highlights. T. Frank, I don't know how much you've been able to find, but there's not a ton out there. So to get where I'm going with this, though, is that, David did not have a single offer 2 months ago. And so that really started to fill in, or schools started to notice him. I believe it was around, I want to say March 16th, I think was his first offer, or it was March 14th. Either way, somewhere in that ballpark. He moves to Cincinnati for an unofficial visit. Bearcats are the first to offer. Okay. That starts to grab the attention of course, I assume some schools who were already scouting him. UConn, Bowling Green, Kent State, they all offered over the next 12 days or so. And then he comes and visits Penn State on March 26th. Really enjoyed that visit. Spoke highly of it to Alan Shrew. I exchanged a few texts with him at the time. He seemed to really like Penn State, but didn't walk away with an offer that day. Then he goes to Michigan State 2 days later, March 28th, boom, Sparty offers. And I think that was kind of a big one for him because in all throughout April, then Louisville, NC State, Pitt, Virginia Tech all offered. Tennessee was one of the bigger ones here in the last, a week or two, I'll say. And then Nebraska offered on May 1. So one of those guys where I think the fact that he played around 235 to 240 pounds as an offensive tackle last year, I'm not going to say that scared schools away, but maybe just didn't pop over on radars, however quickly it may be, whatever that means. But he's really kind of focused on that now, from what I understand. That's why we have him at 265. Now he's really working to add weight. Certainly get the impression he could be 275-ish by the time his season rolls around. And, that's the film I'm really looking forward to seeing, because, there are some things there that you like as far as able to bend and things like that. But maybe with that extra weight, he'll be able to push guys around a little bit more. So you'll get into that, of course, when we talk about the film review and all that. But just a couple other basic things. Cincinnati, Michigan State, Ohio State, Pitt, and USF were the 5 schools, aside from Penn State, of course, that he visited this spring. We know Cincinnati, Michigan State, Tennessee, USF, and Wake Forest were all kind of in the mix for official visits. I don't expect that to be the case now. I would expect him to probably take an official visit to Penn State June 5th-ish. That sounds like they want most of their guys to commit. So, of course, 4th offensive lineman in the class now. We'll see where things go. But, yeah, this one moved quick, man. Clanton was out of school yesterday, which I probably should have hit on this a little earlier, huh? He was at the school on May 6th. I apologize for a workout. And, of course, this is that contact period that we used to call the evaluation period, where now you can evaluate and contact and do all these kind of different things. And I think that workout is really what put that offer into motion. And, the fact that he had that previous visit to Penn State, and, obviously the staff liked what they saw. They just want to verify a couple things. That's why you're seeing such a rapid commitment here, within a span of, however many hours.
Yeah, this has been one that has been a firework on the recruiting board in terms of name shows up, then offering commitment. So appreciate you giving us the rundown of the how and the why. We'll get into what we've seen on film, because you hit on some things that were absolutely true. I want to go through those in just a little bit. But first, we need to hear from AJ Freedom Financial.
In football and in finance, having a strong game plan makes all the difference. AJ Freedom Financial helps individuals build personalized financial strategies that align with their goals, timelines, and risk tolerance. From investment guidance and retirement planning to 401k rollovers, HSA assistance, and legacy and wealth strategies, AJ Freedom Financial offers thoughtful, one-on-one support backed by industry experience and a commitment to transparency. Whether you're starting to invest, planning for retirement, or you simply want a second look at your financial approach, AJ Freedom Financial is here to help you make informed, confident decisions. Schedule a no-obligation consultation today at www.ajffi.com. Call 866-383-6899 or email info@ajffi.com. Again, that's ajffi.com. Call 866-383-6899 or email info@ajffi.com. AJ Freedom Financial, helping Nittany Lions fans plan for what's next. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Gradient Securities, LLC. Arden Hills, Minnesota, 866-991-1539. Member FINRA, SIPC. Gradient Securities, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisor, offers investment advisory services under the DBA of Gradient Wealth Management. Gradient Securities, LLC, and its advisors do not render tax, legal, or accounting services. Insurance products and services offered through AJ Freedom Financial. AJ Freedom Financial and Freedom Financial Insurance, LLC, are not affiliated with Gradient Securities, LLC.
So this is, you mentioned this about not having a whole lot of film. And I had kind of a similar question about David Tarawallie. Is he new to football? So just behind the scenes, what I like to do is I don't watch the highlights first unless I play them here on the show. I try to go to the full game film so that I don't have a bias either way. I get to kind of learn the player organically outside of the highlights. But I just want to make sure, hey, what's their jersey number? I'm not going to spend a ton of time watching sometimes the wrong school and sometimes the wrong player. And you go to his Huddle highlight page, he has literally his junior season highlights and a photo of himself, both of which were uploaded on November 22nd. Now, if this is an entirely new profile and he had another one that was deleted or moved or something, I don't know. But you're right, there's not a whole lot out there. And then his highlight tape is about 2 minutes and 25 seconds, which of course we'll show you here now. You can go to a bunch of different, you can go to, I think, one or two different players that make a lot of sense in a comparison to me. The first one would be, and we'll start with the Iowa State angle, which is Qual, where they went into Ohio. They found a 6'6" offensive lineman with good athleticism that they thought they could grow into a starter with plus length and movement skills. And his senior season film was really, really good. Now, I didn't, because he was not a Penn State commit, I didn't see any of Qual's junior film to see how he grew and developed. But when you watch David on film, he's a good offensive lineman. His positional skills are good. I think he plays with a good controlled base. He's got good hands. Just the technical fundamental stuff is all there. So it's not like he's a raw football player whatsoever. As you mentioned, he's been playing football for a while. He's 240 pounds on film. And the part that I find interesting is the other player I've seen at that level, Garrett Sexton, who was about 225 pounds, 230 pounds when he played during his junior season and got an offer from Penn State, became a top 75 player. I think there was a little more natural strength and maybe a little more explosiveness and athleticism there, but this is a good player. Tarawallie is a good player who has the Big Ten level size, Big Ten level skills to develop into that. It's just a curiosity of where he's going to land on this spectrum. And I know that people haven't seen Garrett Sexton just yet because he's been, behind other players. And presumably we think that he's not going to be a starter this year, but he's a very talented football player, right? And so the athleticism, the traits, all those things, what you're looking for. I think Tarawallie has a lot of these, but when we talk about this group, Ryan, has been recruiting a lot of underrated, under-recruited guys. And we just talked about Jameer Dean, who got a Georgia offer shortly after committing to Penn State. And, oh, wow, they found a secret superstar in this class. I don't know. And I mean, I don't know. This is not me saying he isn't. I'm saying I literally don't know. I can't tell you if he's going to be that because there's so much physical development left to do. But I like him. And so, I think where he is right now, fans always want to know, is he going to be a 4-star later? Could be. But I literally don't know at this point, where those traits are going to go when you add 60 plus pounds onto his frame. So this is the rawest ball of clay you could have, while also having a good football player. The physical side of it is the development side, while the positional stuff I think you really like. So for everybody, I think this is a really interesting eval, and I want to know where it goes, and I would like to see some of his film. this, during his senior season to see how he's put on that weight and how all of that works. Obviously, if Ryan Clanton is accepting the commitment, then it's all been good so far. But like, what's the trajectory? Where are we going here on this ride with David Tarawallie?
Yeah, I think you're looking at a guy who is going to do a lot of development when he gets to Penn State, honestly. I don't know if he's going to be an early enrollee yet. Again, this has been a rapid, really quick one, right? I got a lot to learn really about David and, hopefully get in touch with his coach and we'll be able to do that here in the coming days. But to me, you can focus on adding that weight here throughout the summer and all that. And of course he's doing that. And like I said, I think he could be 275 easily by the time the season starts. But that real development, that real stacking muscle and all those kind of things with nutrition plans and all that, like that's going to probably come, when he gets to State College. And I would assume if he is, eligible to enroll early, that'll really get rolling in January. So to me, it's a guy that has it's a ball of clay, right? A lot of the things you're looking for. And, I've always been a firm believer in you want to get guys who add weight when they get here instead of having to take off weight to then add good weight, right? I mean, that just is a time process, really. So I like that from that perspective. But to me, it's, get him here, add that weight, and then see kind of where he stacks up. But I do think there's some athleticism there, and I do like his form and all those things. He's a lot taller than a lot of these guys, and
great length. All the metrics that you can't fix later, he's got them. Length and size. I
don't know the exact number. I thought somebody maybe texted me 6'9" wingspan. So, a little bit longer than his height too, which is what you always want to see. I have to verify that. I apologize. I don't have that 100% verified, but I did have someone mention that to me today. So, it makes a lot of sense from a perspective of Clayton saw him work out, right? He's visited up here before too. I mean, Campbell and them seem really big on, getting guys on campus and learning all about, how they fit the program, and all those things have checked out. It seems like a great frame and all that. And I just think it's probably going to be a player that we're going to learn a ton about his first year on campus, really. I think we'll figure it out.
To be clear, there is a lot of actual full game footage of him, like maybe his whole season, still diving, like you said, I'm still diving into it. So I've seen 2 full games of him at this point. And so I guess the thing that I find interesting is, like, he is athletic, but there are some blocks he routinely does not succeed with. And some of those are kind of agility, quickness blocks where it seems like when you watch him run in a straight line, he should be able to get those. And I just don't know, like, is that an athleticism thing? Is that a technique thing? He looks like he has good technique elsewhere. He's just a fascinating prospect. And I think, like you mentioned, the 6'9" wingspan, all the things you want to see from a baseline perspective are all there that you can grow into an offensive lineman, which my last point here will be, we've talked a lot about learning what this offensive staff and this defensive staff want. We've talked a lot about defensive ends, offensive linemen. Are they going to, what do they prioritize? And I don't think that there's anything different. I think they prioritize length at tackle, athleticism at tackle, and they want guys they can develop into the players they want them to be later. They don't care. There are certain guys they're going to take who are 300 pounds, and that's great. At certain positions, maybe that does matter more in the profile before they get to Penn State. But at these key, kind of premier positions, they're looking for the premier traits. And I do think they found a guy that has the earmarkings of premier traits here in David Tarawallie. We'll see how the development path goes for him in the future. And we'll be here to tell you about all of that on all the other situations with all the other players that decided to commit to the Nittany Lions. I forget, as always, Ryan, at the beginning of the video, because some people don't make it this far. Like the video, subscribe here to the Blue White Illustrated YouTube channel. We're pumping these things out for you as Penn State gets commitments. We expect a lot more, believe it or not, like double the amount that we have already, or at least 100% more of those as we steam towards a full class, and Penn State replenishing the roster for future years with the class of 2027. So check out more information, some of those deep dives from Ryan as he learns more, me as I learn more, and of course everything from the impact of the rankings, all that here over at the Blue White Illustrated, over at bluewhiteillustrated.com, as we write and learn and explain more about David Tarawallie and his fit with Penn State football. So for Ryan Snyder, I'm Thomas Frank Carr. We'll be back next time there's a commitment from Penn State football here on the Blue White Illustrated YouTube channel.